Hey, welcome to the live Q&A. I trust I meet you well. It's been a minute. Yeah, that's me looking groovy or like wanting to sound groovy. It's been a minute since we last had this. Live Q&As are important to the channel, as you know, because it gives you an opportunity to throw questions at me live and direct. And that's important for our growth. It's important for the boldness we require to engage those little precious ones of ours. So I hope you are pumped to be a part of today's live Q&A. If you are, this is your time to hit the like button. If this so far, only 10 seconds, Lawrence, has been beneficial to you, my intention is to make sure that you get the most from my hour's engagement today. Okay? So again, I hope you're well. I hope that life is treating you well. And like I said in the last video, that you didn't take the Freedom Day declared in the UK as a day to be responsible. Okay? If you did, be careful. Okay? I trust you and family are well. We have a huge passion for our young ones on this platform, and we just want to make sure that everybody is safe. Okay, we've released 2 videos, back to back, and we sort of covered areas of concern around public Wi-Fi, especially this summer, as many of us, COVID allowing, or I should say God allowing, we'll be traveling. And if we travel, we're always looking for juice. We're looking for the internet. And most of us will do anything, to get internet. But we want you to be cautious whilst that is the case. Okay? So like I promised, we're going to focus on securing our iPhones. Yes, iPhones. And that's just because I can finally say I'm an iPhone user. Okay? I started using the iPhone when it was not popular. In fact, when it first came out. Loved it, still love it, as you evidently can see. And I want us to harden this iPhone. You notice how I just stopped that visit to history. Yes, I was being bullied to get off the Android platform because I did shift camp. But I'm back. And hence the reason why most of my demos or how-tos are on the iPhone, because the iPhone is now the tool of choice. Okay, so the how-to or the tutorial we're going to do, it's not a tutorial, I'm just going to do it live so that you can see exactly. So bring out your iPhone so you can see exactly. Lawrence, finish your sentences, always do, so you can see exactly how it is done on the iPhone. Okay, so we're going to walk through how to secure your iPhone. There's so many settings that we need not have on that are on, and you may have turned it on without knowing, and I want us to disable or turn those off because you have no need for them. Another benefit, which I didn't flag in the description, is many of us have issues with, and it is, finish the sentence, Lawrence. Many of us have issues with battery power on our phones running out too quickly. And many of the reasons, actually one of many reasons why that is the case, is because we have most of these things turned off. So we would also improve battery life if we turn these settings off. And now to what I was going to say, in addition, yes, battery life may not appear to be a security issue to you, but it can be. If your young one, for example, has his or her phone with her and the battery is prone to running out quickly, then you have no way, if the phone turns off, you have no way of getting in touch. So it is a security issue. Okay, so we'll flag the battery issue or the battery benefits or battery gains, if you like, that we stand to benefit from if we turn some of these settings that are turned on either by default or by us unknowingly. Okay? So I'll give you 10 seconds to bring out your iPhone because this is really going to be live. I want you to do it. Okay? We'll do many of these things. I'll touch on areas of concern. We go through settings from one to another. And then when I feel we've pretty much done a lot of those things, then I'll open us up for questions, okay? And then we can ask our questions. Those who are on the platform who have questions will be able to submit their questions. So please tell your friends if they're not online already to come and let's do this together. Of course, there will be an opportunity to watch this on replay. Just showing off my studio, just so you can see just a bit that I am cozy and you don't have to worry about me. Blip over. Okay, so I want us to get our iPhones ready. I'm looking at the number of attendees and I'm not quite seeing the numbers I expected. So I almost feel that the ones who will benefit from this how-to are those who will be watching it on replay. Come on, folks. Tell others that the live show has started. Should I do that too? Okay, I'm going to do it too so that I tell most of those in the community who have, by the way, received a ping, you know, because they're subscribed to the channel. They ought to all be here. But let me just get it to them and make sure they're not losing or missing out on this. Let's see. Where are we? You know what? You come. I feel that you are just marking time. It's only 7 minutes past. Yes, okay. I'm seeing numbers increase a bit, but still not the numbers that will get me all excited to do this how-to. I'll still wait a bit. Okay? I'll still wait a bit because that's nowhere near the number I expected by now. It is 7 minutes past. Okay? So enjoy the little music while I search to see why this. Yeah. Keep going. Let's see. Almost there. Yeah, you gain so much from this, and without a doubt, I know that you will gain from this. So please make sure you are telling your friends. Tell them the Family Cyber Clinic is live. It's a live Q&A. We're just going to do a demo on how to secure your iPhones, and I want as many people as possible to be joining. Okay. Where are we? Still not seeing the people. Okay, I'll give it another 60 seconds and then I'll kick off. Let's see. 60 seconds and I will kick off. Let me see. Just send it. I'm still within my I'm still within that time. Again, if you're just jumping in, this is the Family Cyber Clinic live Q&A, monthly live Q&A has started. Tell your friends, tell all those connected to you that we are live, okay? Make sure that they are on board. Okay. We are live. We are live. Okay. That should do. Okay. So I'm going to go through the iPhone now and make sure that we are kicking off as we intended. Okay. So you have your iPhone, and bring it out if you can. I did say that if you had a few seconds to get your iPhone out, it would be nice to follow me as I talk you through what we're doing, okay? So I'll go to my phone, and you can see that's my phone there. I'm just going to go to the settings. And the first setting that we're going to address, that we either need turned off or at least have some sort of idea of what we're up to, would be subscriptions. I know that we give our phones to our young ones, and at times we don't monitor or micromanage what they do on the phone. And at times they will visit the likes of Disney Plus, Netflix, I think there's Prime Video, and they could just go on there and knowingly or unknowingly subscribe to a service because they're dead set on watching a particular movie. And unless we check our subscriptions from time to time, we will not be aware of potentially large sums of money leaving our accounts every month. And that can be frightening, okay? Sometimes, I said large, if you're paying an annual fee, or rather if they subscribed to an annual deal, it could be a lot of money that will go out at once. Then we have other times where it's monthly and you have just a little money going out, but you may not be aware of it. And hence doing this, checking your subscriptions, is absolutely valuable. And to do that, again, if you're just dropping in, to do that, you would need to go to your settings app, which I do again. You click settings, and then the very first bit you see, I call it a profile, with your avatar. If you click on your name, just click it, and it will bring you to another screen. And that screen, you have the fourth item there being subscriptions. And if you click on subscriptions, it will show you after a few seconds really, what you're subscribed to, okay? Now, if you don't identify any of those things that you see there, I know what those are, and those are subscriptions that I acknowledge. If you don't recognize any there, you can simply click on it. Let me click on Apple Music, for example, and it will give you an opportunity to cancel the subscription. Okay? If you click on, Stream Deck Mobile, again, you have an opportunity to cancel the subscription. So you would be able to cancel subscriptions you're not aware of. And it's important that you check this from time to time, especially if you share your phone with others, okay? Okay, I think we can leave subscriptions there. So it's important to check your subscription list. And to do that, I go back again. If you go to settings, click on the first item on the list, which would have your name, click on it. And the fourth item on the list that presents itself is subscriptions. You click on subscriptions, it will show you all the subscriptions. And if you click on one of them, for example, you would see that you have an opportunity to cancel if that's not what you want to do. Okay? Very important, okay? So that's our number one item, subscriptions. That's one thing that we must turn off. And this is not just on our phones. It could be on our young ones' phones who may have done this and not know that they've done it. You know, especially with these days, you have 30-day trials, and you could have your young one, indeed you, click for a 30-day trial and forget to end the subscription or the trial. And that just promotes it or upgrades it straight into a monthly or yearly subscription. So it's important to check it. Okay? Very, very important. Okay. So that's subscriptions. That's our the first item that we're addressing. Again, on our iPhones, we're going to address the next item, which would be location services. And please, if you're watching this on replay, click on the info card and you'll see a video that particularly addressed this. But I'm just going to breeze through this so that those who have their phones whilst engaging with me live can, do it right now. All right. So location services is another item that we are going to look at. Please, if you're just coming in, we're walking and talking about how to secure your iPhone. Perhaps many of the people who are not here that I expected to be here have Android phones. Well, okay. Yes, an iPhone only audience I'm expecting. So I'm still expecting lots more because iPhone users, we rock, yeah? Good stuff. Okay, so we're going to talk about location services. Location services. So I'll go back to the phone and we'll go to settings again. And you have location services hiding somewhere. Let's see, you go to, come on, you can do it. Location services. We'll come back to that. Let's see, because I can't find it. And why I can't find it, I'll never know. Location services. Where are you hiding? I know it's on the privacy. Where is privacy? Privacy, there you go. Okay. And it's right on top. So location services is right on top when you click on privacy, and you can see that I have mine on. But the deal is, if you click on location services, you see what items you are able that you've given permission to basically track you. You know, you're giving applications the ability to track your movements online. So when you have location services turned on for an app, you're basically saying, track me all day long, or only while I'm using my phone. And that's the setting that the clinic obviously recommends. So if you have your iPhone and you have location services turned on, you must make sure that you have it set to only track you when you are using the phone. You've said it can, but only whilst you're using the phone. And that's crucially important. Now, if you look at my settings, I have while using mostly. And where you see colored, like the purple item there on the clock, it will mean that it's actually doing it right now, or it's done it, quite recently. While using the phone, it's been using my clock. You can see how that would be the case. But it's important that you set it to while using. While using gives you control, and we're very big on you having control. I've said Facebook, for example, should never be able to locate what I'm doing or locate me or my business. Same thing with a parking app. I've said ask. Again, you're still in control if you say ask, because I dictate when I allow you do what you intend to do. So it's important while using. You see, let me click on one of them so you see the other options. For example, if I go to clock, let's go to clock. You have never as the sort of access you want to give, or ask next time, or while using the app. So it's important that that's set properly, okay? That it's set properly. Good stuff. All right, so that's location services. I would say that while using the app is the preferred option to choose if you have location services turned on. Of course, if you don't want this at all, if you don't want any app to know what you're doing or know your business, then turn it off. And it's a simple toggle off or on. And that's the end of it, okay? So it's important that at least you know that this is something you can do, all right? Now, there's another setting which is also under privacy, which I'll take us to, again, to the phone, okay? Let me go to settings first, yeah. So we go to the phone and settings, and under, if you scroll down, let me just, so you get familiar to where it is, or familiar with where it is. Just at the bottom there, you have privacy. So you go to privacy. Now, under location services, you have tracking. Now, if you click on tracking, there's a setting that most of you may be surprised. You may well have it turned on. That's a big no-no, okay? Unless you have some sort of deal, monetary deal with application vendors to pay you a premium for allowing them do this. There is really no need. Allowing apps to ask to track your activity across other companies, apps, and websites. That's almost, it's like piggybacking on you to enjoy the benefits or access to other websites. It just doesn't feel right. Okay, so I will expect that for all of us, if not most of us, would have this turned off, and it's turned off when you don't have it in green. That's important. Okay, so that's tracking. Don't turn it on, please. Okay, good stuff. All right, so we have other settings that we're going to discuss, but I want you to see me. And again, if you're just arriving, I welcome you to this month's live Q&A. If you're watching this on replay, please make sure that you are telling your friends about this platform. We're here to make sure that you have the knowledge required to take your young ones on their internet journey experience. That's important. Internet journey or internet experience. It's important that you are equipped. That's what we do. We equip you. Okay. And today or this month, we're concentrating on securing your smartphone, particularly the iPhone. Okay. That's what I have. That's what I'm telling us to do. There are obviously ways to secure the Android phone. I'll put sites or platforms that I feel represent the best education for the kind of traffic or audience that I have. I'll put it in the description so that you're not left out if you are an Android user. Okay, very important. So the next item that we're going to look at is securing your PIN. Now, this is really a thing. You know, I know that the phone, at some point in our generation or life, the phone would be not used for what I've just called it, a phone. Every other thing but. But somehow we're still requiring a SIM. We're still requiring to be connected to some sort of network or provider. Hence, we need a SIM. In fact, if you want to know the journey of the SIM, when the SIM card came out many moons ago, it was big. Okay, you needed a slot on your phone, basically as big as your credit or debit card, to fit this thing in. With time, you can see that it's now minuscule. You now have them quite small. That should tell you or inform you that it's very soon you will not require it. Okay, don't know what the world would be like at that time, but it just feels like it's going. But it hasn't gone. And whilst it's still here, because we're talking about privacy and securing your iPhone or your stuff in general, it's important that you give your SIM a PIN. Yes, the phone passcode that you use is now no longer just enough for your SIM card. To give your SIM card a PIN if your phone is lost or stolen is important, because it means the rogue can't get to stuff that's on your SIM card. Because think about it, if the SIM is not, on the phone, because there's some vendors that actually have embedded SIM cards on the phone. If it's not on the phone, if someone picks up your phone and you have the traditional iPhone 10, 11, or 12, which they still need SIM cards, there's a SIM card slot that can be, opened, and they take your SIM. Yeah? And taking your SIM, that's potentially taking your contacts, which is huge for many. All right? So it's important that you put a PIN or you apply a PIN on your SIM, and I'm going to show you how to do that. We go back to the phone. Okay? We go back to settings, and we have, this time, we have mobile data. If you're in America watching this, yours should say cellular. Okay, but ours in the UK, God's own country, mobile data. If you click on that, the fourth item on the list. You click on it. You have several items, and then if you look at network provider services, just under there you have SIM pin. SIM pin. If you click on it, I don't have a SIM pin. I did that purposely so that when I talk to you today, you'll see me do what you need to do. So if I enable it, enter pin to lock SIM. 3 attempts remaining. So I'm going to enter my pin. Uh-oh. I'm not going to try a third time because I don't want to lock my SIM. But that's live on TV. Okay? So I'm not going to enable the pin live. I'll do it offline. But for you who, because I do have a pin. I do have a pin for my SIM, which I need to confirm that I have access to do whatever needs to be done if I try a third time. But just remembered what it is, but I don't want it to fail on live TV. Okay? But it's important that you enter the pin. And once you enable it, it will tell you put a pin in. For you who haven't had a pin, it will tell you to put a pin. And usually it will allow you to do 1, 2, 3, 4, several characters. And you do it, confirm it, and you're done. Okay? But putting a pin on the SIM from this setting will secure your SIM if it fell into the wrong hands. Very important to do. Okay? Good stuff. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Bit of a distraction. All right, so we have, that was SIM pin. Applying or putting a pin on your SIM will prevent access to the contacts on your SIM card if your phone is lost and stolen. Again, to go there, we came from settings, as you can see. We went to mobile data. We went to SIM pin, and we clicked on SIM pin, and then you have an opportunity to change it or do what's required. Okay? Good stuff. All right. We go to the next item. Again, if you're just coming in, welcome on board. Yes, we are securing our iPhone. We've gone through several things. You have an opportunity to go back and watch. Because of time, we can't just keep repeating, but we've touched on subscriptions on the iPhone. We've touched on location services also on the iPhone. We've touched on applying a pin for your SIM card and how to do that. Again, on replay, you'll be able to, you'll be able to set a pin on your SIM card. All right. Okay. Now, the next item we're going to talk about, we've already addressed, but for those who may not have seen that video, again, look in the info card. You see it in the playlist, but we're just going to touch on it. Just breeze through it, make sure that you are aware. And that is under Wi-Fi, turning off auto join hotspots on the iPhone, turning on automatic auto join of hotspots. And again, the benefit is that you will not be exposed to auto joining a compromised hotspot or public Wi-Fi, as it's called. And that's important so that we're not, exposing ourselves to the danger of rogues who are just out there to, maim us, really, when you think about it. Okay? So I'm going to show us again briefly how to do that. We go back to the phone, settings, And under Wi-Fi, if you click on Wi-Fi, yeah, you can see the very last item there is auto join hotspots. To know whether you are doing the right thing, it has to either read never, ask to join, but definitely not automatic. Automatic means bring it on. Bring all the bugs on, basically, all the harm, bring it on. So you want to make sure that it's not set to automatic. As I said, I'm just going to breeze through that because there's a video in the info card that just touches on this, okay? All right. So we have so far covered 4 items. We've covered subscriptions, location services, SIM pin, and Wi-Fi. Turn off auto join or don't set it to automatic. The next one will be find my phone. Again, rogues are just out to distract us, to make life difficult for us. And so to reduce the amount of suffering, to reduce the amount of suffering that we may encounter if we lose our phone, the vendor has given us a few things to be able to do that will give us some peace of mind. And one of those would be find my phone. What do you do when you find your phone? You'll be able to erase all the data if you feel the phone you can't get to your phone again. Apple have given us this feature so that we're able, to wipe our phones, erase all our data remotely. And that's a good thing, okay? Prevents rogues getting to your data. So I'm just going to show you how you can do that. Give me a second. I'll open that up so that we know what we are doing. Yeah. Okay. So if I go to my phone, which is there. Okay. You go to settings. We click on settings again. And if you click on the, I call it the avatar, the very first item there, mine is saying Lawrence Edem. So if you click on it, you have just under media and purchases. If you're on iOS 14 and above, you should have just under media and purchases, find my. If you click on find my, you have the first item there saying find my iPhone. Now, if you don't have this on, then you need to put it on, okay? So that you can erase all your data if your phone is confirmed to be stolen and you want to secure your data, or at least not allow the rogue access to your data. You will be able to wipe your phone if this is turned on, because basically by turning it on, you kind of in some way, if you can see my hand, you have a satellite locating at all times where you are if you're holding the phone, or where your phone is if you're not with it. So it's able to locate it and wipe the data on the phone if you are no longer with it. And that's a beautiful thing to have. It puts your mind to rest that many can't get to your data. Okay? Very important. Very, very important. Okay. Any questions you have, please remember to put them in the comments. Hi, Zachary. Welcome on board. I know you've asked a question, and I'll bring that to the screen so that others can see it. We're in the building. Blessed afternoon to my fellow iPhone users. All right. Enough said. Android folks, really, do I need to say more than that? Okay. I hope you will come on board. You all know yourselves. Okay. Yeah, so we'll go to the next item. Android folks, perhaps you can put in the comments what you're not missing out by not being on the iPhone. I would just never know. Start a discussion that we don't know will take us to somewhere. All right. Okay, so we've dealt with subscriptions on the iPhone, location services. In another 5 minutes, I'll open up for questions from those who are attending. Maybe not 5 minutes, 10 maybe. So we have find my phone as the last item. We have touched on Wi-Fi, turning off automatically, joining hotspots. We've said that you must apply a PIN for your SIM card to prevent it getting into the wrong hands. Location services we've also touched, and we started with subscriptions on the iPhone that you may not know that you have. Okay. If you'll be watching this on replay, hopefully we'll sort of break this down in chapters so that you're able to follow and just go to the place or the area that you are most concerned with. Okay. Now, the next item is one that we've thrown at you enough times, and needless to say, your vendors, any portal that you are affiliated with, they are also pressing your buttons to do this thing, and it is multi-factor authentication. Multi-factor authentication. I'm going to say it a third time. Multi-factor, or at times some people will say two-factor authentication. And that the very easy way to explain that is a secondary mode of authentication. You know, you're using, when you have a password, that's something you know. Only you know that password. But just that is no longer just sufficient for securing your phones or your devices. A secondary mode of authentication that this now adds uses something that you have. So something that you have in your, you have in your hand, and that's your phone. So something you know, password, and something you have, phone. Those two, better combination than just having the one, which is the password. And so you have vendors pushing you from time to time to take on what we're calling two-factor authentication. And that's important. Hiya. Very important that we do that. Take it on and make sure that we're applying it or activating it. And so to do that on the iPhone, I'll take you there. Let me take that away. Very important that we do this. Multi-factor authentication. Very, very crucial. Okay? Very crucial. If, in fact, I'm a bit bold to say that if you don't have that turned on, that all the rest, you more or less, it's not, it's really not as useful. Yeah. So turn that on. I'm making that really important so that we turn it on. And where are you now? Where are you? Multi-factor authentication. I'm just logging in away from view. It's interesting. Why am I not seeing you? Why am I not seeing you? Come on, guys. You guys are not praying. Pray that I find it. Okay? But you're saying, what is it to me? You know? Can't find it. If you know where it is, you gurus, please make sure you are shouting it out. Okay. All right. So to enable two-factor yeah, I found it. If you want to enable, and you should enable two-factor authentication, you have to do the following. I go to the phone, live TV, the best. Go to the phone, click on settings, as I've done so many times today. Click on the avatar, which has your name, the very first item. And this time go to password and security. Password and security. Second item on that list. You click on it, think about it, and you have second item there, two-factor authentication. Very, very important. I'll go back there. Two-factor authentication. All right? So if you do that, you will always get a second mode of authenticating yourself when you're logging in to, do your business online, or you're logging on to an online portal. using your phone or your, Apple ID. Important, absolutely important to set this up because it does secure you sufficiently. Okay, so that is password and security, two-factor or multi-factor authentication. Then I have one more that I think I can share before we go to live questions. Okay, please put your questions in the comments. I'm not seeing any, apart from Zachary's wonderful welcome. So the last one on the list that I'm caring to talk about is passcode. Passcode, the simple thing with any device. Any device. That could be a tablet, your smartphone, your computer, your laptop. You're always required to put either a passcode or a password. Now, we have made enough noise about what this ought to be. It ought to be strong. But there's an issue I'm finding, the clinic is finding, about the simplicity we require. Many of us now have turned to pins. And that just makes it easier for you to log into your device. So you have a 4-digit pin. Unfortunately, you make it that easy. You're making it easy also for the rogue. So it defeats the whole strong password ethos that we promote on this channel. So having pins, as convenient as they are, expose us. And if you look at the description or the information I sent out to Facebook and YouTube about the monthly live Q&A, I said it's making us, particularly our kids, vulnerable. Everybody just wants ease. So you have a pin. And for some on other platforms, not just Apple, I know we're talking about the iPhone, you also have a hint that will remind whoever tries to log on to remember their password. So you have password hints, you have pins. All those are convenient, but we must still think hardened, in a hardened way. Don't have a strong password and have a very weak password hint, because that just defeats it. Okay? And the rogue can guess how you're thinking by how much information you've presented. And so the clinic is somewhat frowning at pins. And so we want you to, especially the 4-digit pins, we want you to think more closely about this, especially on the iPhone. That's what we're dealing with, that you need to change your pin. Most times the pin will be a date of birth, the first 4. So you either have the month and the day, or the day and the month, or the month and the year. 222. And if I know what I know about how we put out information, most people put the month and year of their birth, or the day and month of their births, on their profiles, social media profiles. So the rogue, if a determined rogue, and they're all determined, wants to get at you, we make it easy. And so the clinic is promoting, or at least encouraging us to push, make it more difficult for these chappies and ladies to work hard. If they really want to damage you, let them work hard. Don't make it easy. I pray they don't succeed, but to make that happen, you've got to be robust. And so I'm going to show you how to change your passcode and do it very well, okay? And you still have a passcode or a PIN that is at least a little more than 6 characters long, not just the 4-digit PIN that we tend to do, okay? And how do we do that? We go to the phone, click on the phone, we go to settings, and we go to, we should be able to find it under Face ID and passcode, depending on your iOS version that could read, or your phone, for example, forgive me. Depending on the version or the type of phone you have, that will either say Face ID and passcode or Touch ID and passcode. So if you search for that and click on it, it's asking me for my 6-digit passcode. It's not 4. Still okay, 6, but it's not 4. Okay? So I put my passcode, and immediately it presents me with information. Use Face ID for blah, blah, blah. Reset Face ID. Require attention for Face ID. Attention aware features. And by the way, there's this lovely thing that they released, they being Apple, released recently for those who are still wearing masks like I am, when you go into places that are clustered and all that. Most times you go into those places and you want to unlock your phone and Face ID doesn't work. Now, Apple have released a feature that if you do also have an Apple Watch, if you have it on your wrist, when it tries to locate or identify you, if you have the watch on your wrist, it will open. So you don't have to remove your mask to allow the phone and feel vulnerable while doing it. So that's a good feature, and that's you can see it there. It says unlock with Apple Watch, and I have Lawrence's Apple Watch, and it's enabled there, and that allows me not remove my mask when I'm in places of that nature. Okay, back to where we are, or where we were. Passcode. So you want to change your passcode, and you can see you have two options there that I'm scrolling to, where it says turn passcode off or change passcode. So if you click on change passcode, it will request your current passcode, which I'll put in. And the key thing here to note is what you have in blue, and I hope it's in blue. Passcode options. So instead of now putting 6 again, because it's now requesting that I put my passcode in, instead of putting another 6 digits, if you click on passcode options, see what it brings up. Custom alphanumeric code, custom numeric code, or 4-digit numeric code. So basically, the last 2 are numbers. So one is custom, so you have a lot of numbers you can put in. But the last one is the one that many are choosing, which is the 4-digit numeric code, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1. How lazy we are. But the one that you would choose if you want the passcode to be strong, will be custom alphanumeric. Custom numeric code will work too, but that's only going to be numbers, which can be secure. But if you want digits, characters, letters, and all that, then you have to choose custom alphanumeric. And that will give me more. You notice how it just changed there to give me letters also. So I could type in anything I want there, and that will be my passcode. Of course, I'm not doing that today, but I thought I would show you how. But it's important that you don't just have the 4-digit PIN, because that just makes accessing your phone very easy. Okay? So even though it's locked with Touch ID or Face ID, it always says when those two fail, use a passcode. And if we have a very weak passcode, people will guess it. So let's tighten up and make it at least alphanumeric, or the other option, which fails me at the moment, but it includes letters and digits. Okay. So that is that. We obviously don't have more time to tread on other things, but of course, there are things that we can do to harden our iPhones, and we'll discover them time allowing in the coming weeks and months. But it's important that we are, doing these things. Just harden the phone, because honestly, I don't know of anyone who is not dependent on their phone. I don't know anyone for something. So the phone does one thing. And that's just part of life that we are leading now in the seasons that we are, age, generations, all that. We need a phone. And because we need a phone, it's an important item that we carry. And if it gets lost, gets stolen, gets compromised, it affects our mental health. Okay? Many people, I don't know any in particular, but I imagine that there are many of us who will go mental if we lost our phones. And if that's the case, to prevent that from happening, we have a lot we can do. Our kids may not be, our young ones may not be as concerned at losing their phone. I may be totally wrong there. But of course, if that's the case or not the case, you have comments. Laugh away, okay? But I'm saying, as a parent who is caring for their young one, you need to make them care. Data is, on the phone is important. Anything you don't want to be in the public domain needs to be secure. And all those things that I've flagged, all those things that I've shared will make that happen. And there are more. As I said, from time to time, there will be hints. I'll drop those hints so that we will harden our phones, okay? I think we can leave it there. We have, I think, a question. Let me see if that is one. Are these options available? Are you winding me up, Zach? Are you winding me up? I don't think you are. You won't do that. Well, yes is the answer, but they may not be called the same thing. Okay? So those Android members on our platform, don't despair. The Android platform has similar settings, just not the way it's placed, or it doesn't lie out the same way, but it's there. Okay? All these things are best practice, industry standard. You should just be able to change things. You can keep your phone as private as possible. Yes, the Android ecosystem allows it, just differently placed. We don't have the luxury or an Android phone at hand to show you how. As I said to those who were here or who have been here from the start, I intend to put a description to a video that will break this down also on how to do this on the Android phones. Okay, good stuff. Any more questions? We have 8 minutes. 8 minutes to round this all up. Okay. The Apple ecosystem is getting better and better. And I'm not just saying that. I have used it from the onset. Took a break. I drifted. And I'm glad to be back. Okay? So there's a lot of work that goes into securing the phone. But they also allow us do a lot of things. Okay? They allow us do things that are personal to us, that are of particular interest to us. And those are the things that weaken the security, in my view, because we don't know what we're doing. And so where we come in, where we bridge the gap as a clinic, is to make sure that if you have turned it on, a feature that you don't need, then we show you how to turn it off and get back on track. We mentioned something about battery life. And I was very clear that battery life is a security issue also. Having enough juice, or our kids having enough juice or battery life on their phones is a security thing. Yeah, security thing. Because if they don't have any battery power, you can't reach them. And so making sure that they are not unknowingly draining their battery. You'll find that most of the settings that are enabled by default, even the location services that I mentioned or showed you earlier, turning most of those off will save you battery life. Having apps track you will take juice, will take battery life. So if you disable them, because you don't need them when you think about it, there's some that you need, but if you don't need them, turn them off. Something that is constantly pinging, even emails on your phone, there's a pull and push of emails going on. You won't understand this, but the email technology is pushing and pulling, so receiving and sending, just making sure that you are up to date on your mail. And that little process that I'm demonstrating takes battery power. Perhaps you don't need it on permanently. On another video, I'll show you how you can reduce the frequency of that push and pull. You know, basically you could just say refresh when I need it. So you just refresh the button and any new emails that you have received will come in. And that way it's not constantly staying on. Constantly staying on kills battery life. Okay? And so we'll release a video just on how to maintain battery life, not just on our iPhones, but on our tablets, our laptops, and all that, so that we will keep each other secure, particularly our kids, okay? And Valerie has asked a question, or maybe not a question, but I'll add it too. It says, may God bless you, Cyber Pastor, for the great work you're doing. We appreciate you. I appreciate you, your support, and that wonderful comment. Yes, this is what we do. We've got to give back, okay? As best as we can, give back so that our kids will remain secure. I'm glad you're benefiting from this. I'm particular about you making sure other people know about it, okay? Because it's all for nothing if people don't know about it. And we are so busy. We are so busy. Interestingly, so am I. But busy trying to give you what you need, okay? So thank you for that comment, darling. Bless you. Any more questions before we round this up? What is the time? Yes, we have a few minutes. We have a few minutes. It's good. I think this was just information. As I said, on replay, you may have other questions that will pop up, but please let others know that this information is out there. As I said also, that we on this channel break things down into bite-sized pieces so that we can understand what you may not understand if you went to another channel, okay? Maybe too big worded or too technical. I break it down and hopefully don't lose the importance whilst doing that. I still maintain the the importance, the relevance. And that's what we do here. We try to tailor it to our audience, okay? All right. We love you so much. And the time that we've spent is a time that I hope is an investment, that you're not just going to relax. You're not just going to, okay, I've heard, and you did nothing on your phone. Okay, do something about this phone. If this was too fast, please, you have it on replay. Go watch it and follow the how-to steps, or the steps that I went through, and just secure your phone. Any questions that come from that engagement, please put it in the comments, okay? We never like ending our broadcast without giving you an opportunity to subscribe. Yes, subscription is a big thing. YouTube subscription is a big thing. But for us on the platform, it's so big because we want this information to get out to others. And YouTube monitor subscriptions, likes, and all that to make sure that what you're doing is relevant. And we want YouTube to pick us up. Obviously, in the future, there are perks that come with subscription. That will come at its own time. At least I've got my mind around that now. But today, I want you to subscribe. Subscribe so that this information, I hope as beneficial as it is to you, will be forwarded or recommended to others like you who have kids. It's important, that we get this right. Our kids are for life. We want to train them, but we train them with information that we receive, hopefully, from this clinic. Love you guys loads. I'm looking forward to the weekly routine. We're back again next week because we release videos every week. Videos on issues that are trending, but more importantly, on things that will empower you as a parent or as a guardian to do your best to protect those young ones in your care. We love you dearly, okay? Be safe. Let others know. Share this with your friends and family. I've been your host, Lawrence Edem. Until next week, when we'll do something similar. God bless and goodbye.